What is going on, everyone? Samurai Solo, and I am back with Vampyr. So, we're going to continue to make our way to the main quest here, which we're actually right on it. There's people to talk to and all that. We'll do all that good stuff in a little bit. Oh, there's something down there. It's not a dead body, is it? It is. Oh, what else do we got here? Oh, just a rat. Don't need to eat on him. Don't need to feed on the rat. Now, where do we need to go for this? Do we need to head up there? Yeah, it shows it up. Okay. Let's get up here. That's just to go back to the house. But it does show it up above us. Don't think we can go in any of these doors, can we? No. Might need to walk around, maybe. Yeah, here. Well, maybe. Wait, that's just gonna take us back. That's just to the safe house, isn't it? Let me see the map real quick. I mean, we're right there on it, so let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yeah, you gotta kind of look at the map a little bit from time to time, because that can be a little confusing. You think you're really close to it, and you're actually not.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Well, there's an eavesdrop opportunity, but I gotta find where to go to eavesdrop on him. Where can I see him? Ah, here we go. Well, maybe not. Can I go in his house, or is it locked? It did show an option for the door. No.
I will return later.
Okay, well, I know I pretty much got to eavesdrop on him. I would think it would be right here. But nothing is not giving me the thing for it. No, now it wants to. Oh, this game. I almost walked away to look around.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
Okay, so let's see. Darius is the right arm of Dorothy Crane.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius.
Okay, so we need to find Richard Nithercott and Clayton Darby. And if we come across anybody while we're walking around, I will go ahead and speak to them. Now, how far are they? Well, one's real close by. Here's one of them. Let's speak to him.
Don't be afraid. Welcome, sir. Please take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Okay, so he can be a trader for us. We'll see what he has. His level's 4. He's got 3 hints.
How is business around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
Okay, Joe Peterson. Joe extorts, put Barris Lewis in a tough financial situation. Okay. Barris in a tough financial situation because of Joe's extortions.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No.
Oh, this investigation.
That's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Yes, she's a nurse, and quite a good one. What did she do to gain such notoriety?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Okay, so Dorothy gives away drugs and medicine for free. Okay, see what he has.
Right. Show me what you have.
We have 421 shillings. Let's see, he sells aluminum shards, powder, springs, grease, screw. Okay. So stuff, you know, probably we have some parts that we could if we wanted to upgrade 80 and 35, so they ain't cheap. See what this person's about. Although there's that little mobster guy.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off.
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Isn't that Clay Cox? Clay Cox's group, I think. You're a criminal. You could have refused survivalist and natural law. Let's see what if I say if you could have refused. If like, no, I could have. They would have beat me.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you've made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
So Joe and Barrett used to be good friends. Well, Barrett is up to something because he was mad at the nurse for wanting to give medical supplies to help sick people for free, so may not be wrong about him. Okay, we don't have any hints there. We already asked him this stuff.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane. Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Goodbye, Mr.
Joe, please, I don't have your money.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
It's a disgrace. People are left to die alone. No one is properly informed of the risks.
These are bad times indeed. So much for the glorious British Empire.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
He's level 4. Man, a lot of these guys have sickness. I need to look at it and make some stuff back at the safe house when I can.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
Clayton wants newspapers to print the truth about Whitechapel's situation.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
Okay, that's
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I don't know if I should tell him. I wonder if it has consequences, because while he seems like a good person, you don't know for sure. And if I tell him a nurse, I don't know if that would leak in. I don't know how the game plays, if it's going to play out like that, or if it even matters what I say. I would just tell him I care about public health.
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain nurse
He knows.
hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nithercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nithercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Alright, let's see this guy right here. Oh, we have to find the mailbox in the letter. That's another one, too.
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
I want to hear what he says.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
So Tobias wants to cleanse the epidemic by fire.
What do you mean when you say that I am...
All science.
Oh, well, actually, we already heard this.
I am. Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Science and progress are our only hope against the monstrosity hidden behind this epidemic.
See, Doctor? Now you acknowledge the presence of evil within the city's walls. Now you start to admit the truth.
Oh, hint failed. I didn't realize that was going to happen, otherwise I wouldn't have said that. Alright, well.
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Okay, that's another thing to do, another investigation.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in our country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
Okay, so Dorothy was a clandestine resistant in her homeland.
I have heard enough.
Go back to them. So we already have a few investigations we can do here. 2 local investigations, little side quest. Just want to see what might be up here real quick. Really nothing? That's just weird. Like you would think a safe house would be here, or at least an item. I think this is probably going to be the mailbox letter thing. Yeah, find the mailbox. I guess we could speak to you first, too. Oh, there's the letter. My dearest, most beloved children, I am so sorry you have not heard from me for a few months. The situation in London has been difficult. I know it may sound selfish and silly when you, my children, are still living in a country consumed by war. But there is also a war going on here in England. A war against poverty and against injustice. There is a war I intend to fight for despite my advanced years. This is why I am writing to you today. I won't be coming back to Romania. That probably means I won't see you again before I die. Don't be sad, my darlings. You are grown up now, and you have children of your own. You know the sacrifice we sometimes must accept to make the world a better place? This is one I must make now to feel useful one more time. I wish you a long and happy life. Kiss my grandchildren for me, and remember that your father loves you all the way from this cold, damp country. I am as ever your loving father, Darius Petrescu.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter.
What is this? Hey, I want to see what this is. You're in the way of it. It's all glowing, but... Oh, there it goes. A small flower bouquet with a voucher for a free medical checkup. Ah, they're hiding the things there. Camellia. Camellia secretly distributes medical vouchers for Dorothy Crane's dispensary. Where are you at? Where'd that girl go? Oh. Let me see. Oh, yeah, I see she's doing it right now. Can we open this? It looks like we can open it, period. Don't fight me, please. Don't want to mess with y'all right now, just trying to talk to some people.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly. I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Camellia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever. Very well. Goodbye then.
This guy's usually behind the church. So far, no enemies around. Oh, you know what? To maybe get behind there, I might have to go all the way that way, back where there were enemies, possibly. Let me go see if I can go around the other side.
Imprisoned by your daily routine, unable to see the truth.
No, there we go. Is this open? Yep. But I got my weapon out, so might be running into some trouble here. Yep. Where'd y'all all come from? Oh, so I went for the attack and got me. Yeah, I know I do. I know with my weapon I'm doing less damage instead of the 10% extra damage, but I feel like the blood thing's going to be worth it, especially in the longer run. But then I might find a better weapon anyway, but for now this is, you know, it's decent enough. This cannot be opened. Find Richard in the area. Bet you he's going to be somewhere in there, but let's look around here real quick. Yeah, here talking right now. He's on the other side. I figure he might have gone crazy or be dead.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Okay, let's go ahead and speak to him. Well, obviously speak to him, but I mean ask him questions.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Peaceful? That's quite an unusual way to speak about the epidemic. And very inappropriate, I must say.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear doctor.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox, the stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir, Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
Ah,
What can you tell
Camellia.
me about Camellia?
Not much, and that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
So Camellia is amused to Richard Nethercott, who sees her as a locked mystery. Wow, we got her all figured out. 5,000 XP for her too. That's a lot. The Nethercott here. Richard sees Camellia. Okay. Is he sick too? Man, he's got a cold. Cold. They got bronchitis. They have fatigue.
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives? Whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious Camellia.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
So Darius is a former Roman political activist, right arm, and Darius does not want his children anymore to avoid being a burden to them. Okay, I think that's everything, right?
I'll leave you alone.
Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
So real quick, let me see these local investigations we have to do. This one is retrieve Samuel the Disciple. Is the cemetery around here? Because if it is, I'll do it real quick. Yeah, it doesn't seem that far from here. Oh, editor refusal letter. Sycophant Publishing, Lavender Court, Camden Street, London. Dear Mr. Nethercott, thank you for sending your book of poems, Songs from the Defeated City, which we found as interesting and profound as we told you the first time we received it. Alas, in the terrible times our country is currently facing, you must understand that such title would be totally inappropriate for any publication. Thus, since you still refuse to change your title and demand the full publication or none of your work, I'm sorry to announce you that Sycophant Publishing chose the second option. With kind regards, A.G. Morse. So Richard has never succeeded in poetry. Oh, it's locked? No, it's not locked. Oh, I unlocked it as a shortcut. Nice. Oh, well, we're not right by the cemetery anyway. It's a little ways away. Where's Camellia at? There she is. Let's see if we... Do we have the other hint of her? We can say anything? Even though she's mute.
Hello again, Mr.
Supposedly, maybe she's not.
Tell me about Richard Nethercott. I understand he is quite fond of you, Camellia.
Yeah, she really has nothing to say.
Very well.
Let's see, how far is that cemetery? It's actually quite a ways away. I'm gonna go ahead and wait on that. Let's go ahead and head back to the... I'm gonna go ahead and unmark it. What about this one? This is Retrieve Barry Lewis's box. Where's that located on the map? Oh, actually, that's not too bad. That's kind of where we just were, huh? Let's go ahead and see if we can do that one real quick. Yeah, we can go up this way. Let's go back to the shortcut we just opened. Is it quicker to go this way? Oh, got an item box over here I missed the first time. Yeah, I need to start making some medicines around here for people to give to them. Where's this cemetery? Where's this box at? Hold on. Yeah, it's the wrong... I think we need to go back this way and go to the left. Can we go to the left? Let me see. Oh, we're gonna have to go this way. Okay, so we're gonna probably have to fight some enemies here. Oh, it's locked. We can't go that way. Can we get up on a balcony or something? No, we cannot. Okay, so maybe we just have to go around then. Fair enough. How much stamina wouldn't drain when you weren't in combat? Up. Ah, you were right. Whoa, whoa. Oh, I didn't even need to use the claws on him. He was already almost dead. Get a little health back here. Oh. Whoa, large beast, level 10. Yeah, it's going to be in here, so we're going to have to fight. Is he the only one? Looks like there's more than one. Or no, it's just his blood. Oh, what do we have here? Unused hatchet, or used hatchet. Does 65 damage. Small axe primarily used to cut firewood, so it does 65 damage to start with. See, you can increase blood absorption or add 3 stun points. So does it stun at all, though? So it doesn't stun, but you could make it into a little bit of a stun weapon, I guess. Attack speed 10, stamina 25, though. Okay, we'll hang on to it. $70, man, still. Oh, look, there's another thing up here. Well, first, before we go, let's look on this level first. He's not gonna come up here, is he? No, he doesn't hear us. Okay, that's all there is up here.
This could be the box
Lewis
thought he lost.
Barrett, there's no easy way to say it, so I'm going to be blunt. We can't keep on like this. At least I can't keep on like this. If Joe ever finds out about us, about his wife and his best friend, it will crush him, and then he will kill you. We had some good time together, but let's face it, I'm never going to be your Jane Lewis. You know it, and I know it too, so I'm ending this right here and right now. If you agree with my decision, I'm sure we'll find a way to be happy again. You, Joe, and me in time, and then the most important part of our story will have been preserved. Until that day, I wish you'd forgive me. Goodbye for now, Jane Peterson.
A love letter from Joe Peterson.
Barrett and Joe. Barrett had an affair with Joe Peterson's wife.
Peterson's wife, addressed to Barrett Lewis. Who should I give it to, I wonder?
The way he said that, he's like happy. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Barrett because Barrett, for one, is a merchant, and I can buy stuff off him at least, which I probably will be doing, sometime. Is there any benefit for me to fight this guy? Oh, there's just an item down there. You know what? We're gonna do it. Stamina. Man, that extra damage we get for the claws is serious. Don't like there's really anything else up here. Okay. Well. We're gonna go ahead and give the box. We're gonna go ahead and give that box to Barrett. Where is Barrett? There's Joe. We're not giving it to you, buddy. Barrett should be over here. Yeah.
Fancy buying something, sir?
You never lose your focus, do you? Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I'd known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, He found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
Without making excuses for him, it's safe to say that despair can poison even the sanest mind.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against a wet boot boy.
Barrett, you had an affair with Joe's wife, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. She's the only woman I loved. My first regret is that she stayed with Joe after Harry was born. The second is I never shed a tear when she died.
Did you ever try talking to Joe?
Never. But I suspected he knew everything, even without knowing it. And he decided to make me pay in his own way.
Do you mean you're Harry's father?
No one will ever know for sure. And it's better that way. And I don't believe I'd have been all that bad as a dad.
I found this box in an abandoned building nearby. I believe it belongs to you.
Let's have a look. Yeah, this is mine. So, you faced those loons that roam around there. Extraordinary.
I suppose I was lucky.
Luck is a commodity round here. Yours should be properly rewarded.
About this package, it's not just tools and trinkets, is it?
I want to be rude or anything after your kind gesture, but it's none of your business.
Shillings and a box of junk. Hey, I'll take that.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Alright, so that's been resolved. Okay, let's head to the safe house here so we can make some stuff maybe and then continue on with the main quest. Yeah, plus I can make stuff and help that guy out. Oh, who's this?
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the...
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Haven't come across him.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
This woman who's obviously scamming people with a remedy. She probably sells it.
What kind of medicine you're selling?
Swanborough cordial. Swanborough cordial is a list of ingredients printed in Latin. This item can be recycled into components. I'm interested to buy it, just to wondering if it'll play into something later, maybe. So I'm going to go ahead and buy one. It's the only one she sells anyway, so let's go ahead and get it. It's not too much. Now, where is the safe house? To the right? Actually, hold on. I think this way. Actually, it's going to be down. Is that it up here? Yeah.
I cannot enter.
Ah, it's locked. Where's the other one then? Where's that other door at? Take me to the other one. Trying to remember where it was at. There was another one around here. Remember that door that took me to the safe house? But it didn't have a marker. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. It's gonna send me through a load screen though, but... Oh no, that's not it.
Hello, young man. I'm Dr.
Oh wow.
Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no.
Oh, it's Harry.
My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me then? Okay. Come on in. I'm a Harry, by the way. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
Yeah, don't mind that I root through your stuff and just steal it. Want to get to the safe.
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered.
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine. I'm just tired of being sick all the time. If only I could be tough, like... Well, you know.
Speaking of...
Harry has a frail constitution, is often sick. He's sick right now. What's he have? Fatigue.
What can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
Harry did not want to live in Whitechapel in the first place.
You have a roof over your head, a place to call home. Many people here are not as lucky, you know.
That's exactly what my father says.
If life here is...
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed.
Do you remember when Barrett Lewis...
Not really. I was too young. But I remember...
Running low on time, so I'm kind of hurrying up here.
Why are you so... Because it hurts to remember a time when my father used to laugh.
How was he?
He was nice, I guess. He never...
Your father and Mr. Lewis...
I was young then. I don't remember Mr.
Have you tried...
I don't go out often, but yes.
But you are not...
Am I not? Dad always says...
Do you know...
Yes, I know her.
Goodbye, young man.
This was the house where I went to. Yeah, I can get to the safe house from here. That's kind of weird that he's in here now. I was wondering, I was like, this is... I thought this wasn't the safe house area, but it is. There it is.
It's locked.
Or is it? Oh, it's not. This is a completely different place then. Yeah, I can't rest in the bed or anything. Oh. Oh. Dear Mr. Peterson, it's my duty to inform you of our refusal to accept your application at a job at the dockyard. I must thank you for the time spent at our office explaining the difficulty of your situation with your ill boy and the loss of your beloved wife. But it is also my duty to point out the policy of our company, which expressly reapproves the employment of former criminals or convicts. Your unfortunate connections with the ill-famed web boot boys have been duly noted. These are hard times, sir, and Finch and Hart pretend to reward first candidates who pass a small inquiry we would like to conduct about our future employees. You have my deepest sympathy, and may God be with you and your family. Joe cannot find a legal job because of his criminals. I feel kind of bad for him now, see? To read that later. Okay, that's locked. I still don't know how do we unlock that stuff. A lot of locked stuff all around here. Okay, but with that said, guys, I think this is a good one to stop on. I'm gonna go ahead and stop right here. And yeah, I was gonna make some stuff, but can't really do it right now. So when we come back next time, we'll speak to Joe or wherever we're at. I don't know where the game's gonna put me at exactly, but we're gonna continue on with the main quest fairly soon here. But that's gonna do it for this one, guys. I do appreciate y'all watching. I will catch you all next time. Have a great day. Peace.